two big questions, obviously. Who's up next for Juve, and where does Max Allegri go? My guess is that Max Allegri might actually take a little bit of time off now. And this is just a personal hunch. I haven't spoken to him. I don't know the guy that well. But he certainly has looked pretty worn out, pretty fed up with the attacks. I think rather than rush into another job right now, and obviously there's a ton of job openings in Serie A, right? So Roma is an obvious one. Milan Gattuso will likely go. Inter as well, where he'd be reunited with Beppe Marotta. Luciano Spalletti's future doesn't look very secure there. Options elsewhere, Manchester United, Solskjaer's not doing great. Paris Saint-Germain. He's going to be linked with all these jobs, but my hunch is he might actually take a little bit of time off, recharge his batteries, perhaps learn a different language, perhaps improve his English or maybe his French. I think that would be the rational thing to do. Now, the stories have been so wild and taking so many twists and turns, it's entirely possible that things won't pan out that way. But I don't think if you're Allegri, I don't think he's been talking to anybody else, and I don't think he rushes into a job. Now for Juventus, this is far more interesting. So they need to answer one basic question at the top, and that is, what kind of club do we want to be? Because if they want to have a change of philosophy, if they want to go and be sort of that high pressing, high intensity, high excitement attacking club that seems to be in vogue in Europe. You look at obviously Tottenham, you look at Manchester City, you look at Liverpool, clubs that aren't necessarily more talented than Juventus, but certainly have played a much more productive attacking game. Then you need to go down that road. Now the interesting thing is, Juve really haven't had a manager like that since the early 90s, and Gigi Manfredi, who, by the way, was a disaster. So it would require a giant shift in philosophy. I know some fans are asking for it. They've been linked with Pochettino. They've been linked with Pep Guardiola, who's reiterated today that, no, I'm not leaving Manchester City. Big surprise there. I don't know that they're in a position where they can make that big philosophical leap, precisely because they still have this window of opportunity that is closing. They have Cristiano Ronaldo, they have Giorgio Chiellini, they have Blaise Matuidi, Aaron Ramsey's coming. It's a whole bunch of veteran players. This is not necessarily the circumstances that you want if you're going to bring in somebody who's going to totally revamp the blueprint, take you in a different direction. So you would expect perhaps a slightly more conservative choice. The name on everybody's lips has actually been Simone Inzaghi, the Lazio manager, who seemed rather coy about committing his future to Lazio after winning the Coppa Italia on Wednesday night. Some people see him as sort of like a Max Allegri redux, a guy who's a company man, who's not going to make waves, but who is tactically sound, generally popular with his players. He would certainly be an option. I think you're going to see his name pop up. Not maybe somebody who excites too many people. Another option could be Antonio Conte, which would be an incredible return. Obviously, Conte would be taking over a very different Juve than the one he left way back in what was it, 2013, whatever it was. The issue with that Juve was that they didn't have superstars. Well, hey, now he's chock full of superstars. One big hurdle here is he did not leave on good terms with Juve's top management. Now, Beppe Marotta is gone. He's now at Inter, of course. Can Andrea Agnelli let bygones be bygones? Can Conte let bygones be bygones? And would it work? Would Conte's message work with these veteran players? Certainly, that would be an intriguing option. I think those are the main names. The main thing to think about, though, is to what degree were Juve prepared for this eventuality? In other words, since the Ajax game, how seriously have they thought about a plan B? Have they sent out feelers? That's something we don't know. And again, we'll have a much better idea of this on Saturday when Agnelli and Allegri address the media.